third part in the series of creating high quality videos for your online courses. In the first two videos, we talked about what you need as far as recording equipment goes. And in the second part, we talked about setting up your recording environment. All right, so now that we've got everything set up properly for your video shoot, what can you do to make sure that your on-camera performance is everything that it should be? Let's first talk about what to wear. The most important thing is to wear what feels like you, right? Part of being comfortable on camera includes dressing in a way that makes you feel confident about yourself, but at the same time, you're being yourself. If you're not used to wearing a suit or a dress, then skip that, right? Instead, choose your favorite color palette and feel free to add any personal touches that help you feel relaxed, bold, and confident. Next, if you can, wear solid colors. That means no stripes or patterns, if at all possible. Patterns of any kind on clothing creates this weird optical effect called moire pattern, where competing patterns compete with each other for this visual dominance and actually make it seem to vibrate on the screen. Also, if you can, don't wear all black or all white. Even though black is slimming in real life, it tends to make all details disappear on camera, and it's gonna make you look like this shapeless blob. In general, natural tones like gray, light pastels, or subtle earthy tones are really good options. Also remember that camera will always boost contrast, and just like black, white is problematic as well. Too much of it can be too visually overwhelming and blind the viewer. Also, remove any loose jewelry that could make noise. Bracelets, necklaces that move when you do, especially when you talk with your hands, have to come off, right? Even a cheap microphone will pick up this noise and it'll be really distracting for your viewers. I'm personally guilty of this more often than I care to admit. Remember, distraction equals frustration. Also check your hair, shoot a quick test video to check to see if any pieces of your hair is shooting out of some weird wacky angle or covering part of your face in a way that's visually distracting. The rule is this: if you notice it, they will too. Check your teeth. Yes, I'm being serious. Having a piece of spinach stuck in your tooth while on camera is also more than a little distracting to your students. Now, let's talk about the delivery of your content. An obvious one is act naturally. Two common mistakes that I see people make a lot on camera. Number one, they're smiling the entire time. And the second one is freezing up and looking like either they're scared or they're in pain. This is just you talking, saying what you believe, nothing more than that. Right? You don't have to perform, just be yourself. Next, breathe. Take a few deep breaths before the camera starts rolling to help you focus, and breathe between sentences as well. If you find yourself out of breath before you finish a sentence, you're either talking too fast or you're trying to say too much in a single sentence. Don't try to make it shorter by talking faster. When you talk too fast, people will have trouble comprehending what you're saying. If you can stick to a typical conversational pace, which is around 150 to 160 words per minute, that would work perfectly. And if you're not able to gauge how many words a minute you speak, no worries. Just talk at the same pace you would if you were having a conversation with your friends. Also remember, don't talk too slow either. If you watch your test video and you start feeling impatient that you're not getting to the point, that means you're talking too slow. That's usually the result of trying to hit your lines. Forget the script, forget being perfect. Just speak naturally. Next, talk to one person, not all people. Avoid the temptation to say, hey, you guys, like your favorite TikToker or YouTuber might say. Remember, nearly all your viewers will watch your videos by themselves, which technically means you're speaking to only one person. Your students want to feel that direct connection with you, like you're only talking to them, like you're their friend. This makes them feel engaged and comfortable. Any group gestures where you're addressing the crowd breaks that illusion. Also, you're allowed to move. Don't forget the power of gesture, in moderation, of course. Hand gestures help you articulate your points and come across as more dynamic. They put personality into delivery, which makes it more engaging. Practice, not so you can perfectly memorize every word of what you're supposed to say, right? You do this simply so your brain gets comfortable with the words and phrases that you're about to say. Much of what you practice will sink into your subconscious mind simply by saying it out loud. Having that information rolling up there in your brain makes you feel and look more relaxed on camera. Talk like you normally talk. If you tend to use conjunctions like don't or I'm or isn't, then that's what you should say, right? Using do not or I am or it is not will only make you sound like a robot reading someone else's lines. Say it the way you'd say it to your friend or to your spouse. That'll make you come across more authentic to the viewers, which makes them trust you and trust what you have to say to them. Definitely pay attention to your ums, likes, okays, or any filler words that you use. That's where the test video is important again. If you say okay or like or every 2 minutes, the viewer will fixate on it to the point where they won't be able to concentrate on what you're saying and they'll quit watching your videos. Every one of us has those vocal tendencies, and in most cases, we don't realize just how much we say them until we see ourselves on camera. So again, shoot a test video, watch, make notes, and adjust for these things. Be yourself. You don't have to play the expert on camera part or turn into this newscaster or some other personality. The crucial part of being memorable as a speaker is communicating from your heart. What I mean by that is always best to let yourself shine through instead of trying too hard to be something that you're not. Despite what you may think or have read, that's not what people want to see. What they care about is connecting, which only happens when you bring your full, whole self to the screen. Now let's talk about where you should look while recording. Maintain eye lens contact. When you're speaking, look directly at the lens of the camera or your smartphone. It's just like maintaining eye contact in person. Basically, you want to do all the same things you would if you were speaking in person. It might help to think of the camera lens as your friend. A camera lens can look like a threatening object pointed directly at your face. So imagine that it's not a camera, but it's just your friend that you're talking to. It's there to help you connect with people, to share your ideas with them. It's on your side. So take a breath, relax your shoulders, look at the lens directly, smile, and deliver your content. And while it may be weird at first, pretending that the lens is someone you're talking with, it'll help you come across more engaging, honest, and real. If you are using a digital camera with a rotating screen or using your phone in a selfie mode, you'll be very tempted to keep looking at your face. Just doing this will only make your viewers wonder what the heck you're looking at. Now, let's talk about where should you stand or sit. Make sure your lights are in front of you. Unless you're doing the 3-point lighting and have a need to light the background, your light should always be directly in front of you or slightly angled on each side towards your face or your body. Again, make sure your camera lens is at your eye level. You shouldn't be looking up or looking down at the camera. If you need room for graphics or on-screen text, in that case, you want to make sure you leave some space to the right or to the left of your frame and make sure that space is completely empty. So should you stand or sit? Well, it depends entirely on you, and there are advantages and disadvantages to both. Sitting down takes the pressure off and allows you to feel more at ease. However, many of us actually think better when we're standing up, we're sharper mentally, and we tend to be more confident and more assertive. Also, in most cases, we can't really breathe easily when we're sitting down, making you seem like out of breath or come across like you're nervous or you're stressed. So I recommend trying both to see what feels better and more natural to you and gives you the result that you're looking for. If you decide to record standing up, be sure to stand up straight. Now, I don't mean standing up stiff or like a wood, but good posture projects confidence. What you want to do is stand straight with your chest forward, and you want to roll your shoulders back to avoid this hunchback or hunch posture. That might feel like exaggerated, but it'll feel more natural to your audience and help you feel more confident and assertive when you're speaking. If you feel like you're being too stiff, what you can do is try standing at a slight angle to the camera with your weight on your back leg. This looks very natural on camera while maintaining good posture. Definitely check your position in the frame. Again, shoot that test video, review it to make sure that you're within the frame and your top half is clearly visible. And if you don't need room for graphics, make sure you stand in the center of your frame, which will give you that balanced video composition. I've included a link to this checklist checklist below in the description area. Make sure to grab it so you can have this list in front of you to run through it before you start recording.